Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you like this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing a timepiece from 2007, still in current production, that has aged gracefully with none of the elephantitis that was endemic to some of the 2000 watches, including Rolex's own Deep Sea and Yachtmaster 2. The 2007 to present Rolex Oyster Perpetual Milgauss 116400 remains delightful and different without dating in any sense. 40 millimeters across the round of the case, not including the crown. It's a versatile size, and though it's not a thin watch, it's not a thick watch either, at 13.7 millimeters thick with a nicely sloped conical bezel. The watch is constrained to lug-to-lug 49 millimeters, and because this bracelet has a uncharacteristic feature for Rolex, which is that the solid end link doesn't extend beyond the case flank, even though it's a solid end link bracelet, it still measures only 49 lug-to-lug. The dimension of the case is the dimension across the wrist. Should you wish to accessorize, and believe it or not, the Milgauss is remarkably striking for a Rolex of the modern era on an accessory strap. 20 millimeters is the size between the lugs. I've seen these on orange, green, even blue Rubber Bee and Everest straps, as well as NATO and textile straps, and they really do look natural and handsome. This is quite at odds with most Rolex watches, which in the modern era only look right on the factory bracelets. But should you keep the watch on its factory bracelet, you'll find that it's an upscale piece. There is a mistaken perception about the Milgauss, which is the notion that just won't die, that this is an entry-level Rolex like the Oyster Perpetual. Nothing could be farther from the truth. First, you can see the hallmark of a deluxe Rolex model: polished center links and satin outer links. Outer facing, all of high polish, removable links fixed by screws. Here's another feature of premium Rolex models: fully polished clasp internals. You can see there's no media blasting in here. And yet another feature that sets this apart from the likes of the Oyster Perpetuals. You can see a Easy Link 5 millimeter incremental adjustment system that you can use to adjust as your wrist expands and contracts in hot or cold weather, activity or inactivity. Yet another premium feature, the straight-through polished segment, flanked by satin, and of course a raised rather than indented or engraved crown. You will note some of the entry-level Rolex models will feature a stamped, indented crown rather than the raised crown in relief. I'll also throw out one more quick mention of a feature we rarely discuss on these modern Rolex watches, and it's even difficult to show, but you can see that there are several mounting points for the bracelet inside the clasp should you wish to accomplish additional fine-tuning. Now, going back to the case, it's remarkably elegant. It's nothing like the Explorer 2, the GMT, the Submariner, or the Sea Dwellers. It almost appears more like a slightly chunkier Daytona or a scaled-up Day-Date or Datejust. It has a fluid compound curvature to it that causes light to dance across its surface in a flame-like effect. You will note there's a little bit of a squared-off profile about the lugs, and the lug hoods themselves are polished like the case flanks. Full polish about the conical bezel. Now we can get a little bit closer and appreciate what makes the GV Milgauss the GV, and it is the glace vert. You could see it best from an angle. The green tint of the crystal that set this watch from an identical model that was launched at the same time, featuring a clear crystal and a black dial base. One little piece of Rolex trivia that relates exclusively to these tinted crystal Milgauss models is that there is no laser-etched Rolex crown at 6 o'clock, because you can always see the green most vividly from an angle, and the laser etching is perpendicular to the plane of the crystal. It goes straight in. It would be present even to the naked eye and omnipresent, so there is no engraved Rolex crown at 6 o'clock on this crystal. The dial base is a matte black, shocks of orange, one of the most controversial features of this watch back in 2007, even more so than the colored crystal, because green is a traditional Rolex color, but orange is just crazy. Nevertheless, I think this postmodernist sensibility works well. If you're going to take something relatively humorless like a technician's watch and relaunch it in the modern era for luxury buyers, you may as well do it with a little bit of a self-deprecating sense of humor. I will say this though, that lightning bolt style seconds hand is not a postmodern flourish. The color is, but the shape isn't. The very first 1956 Milgauss 6543 did include a lightning bolt seconds hand. And you will note no Cyclops eye, no date. That is because the caliber 3131 Rolex manufacture movement inside is entirely enclosed by a soft iron anti-magnetic cage. The cage is iron and thus paramagnetic, so it actually attracts magnetism, and because the magnetic fields are bound to that cage, it curves and arcs the magnetic fields around the movement. 100 meters water resistant. You can see the symbol of the twin lock crown, solid Oyster caseback, automatic winding, 48-hour power reserve, 8 beats per second, 4 hertz. It does feature hacking or stop seconds. A COSC certified Swiss chronometer. Rolex then cases the movement and assures that it meets +2 -2 seconds per 24 hours or better, hence the superlative chronometer nomenclature. Full balance bridge with a free-sprung index for shock resistance, overcoil hairspring for concentric beating in any position with respect to gravity, and the parachrom blue antimagnetic niobium zirconium blue oxidized alloy comprising the hairspring helps to compound the antimagnetism of the watch. There is a nickel phosphorus escape wheel, antimagnetic, the soft iron cage to bend the field lines around the movement, and the parachrom blue anti-magnetic hairspring. All of those features working in concert to give the Milgauss not just a pretty face, but also real-world durability and resistance in the face of high-powered electronics in the modern home and office environments. Born in the 1950s, but still at home in the present day, a combination of stolid and one might even say stodgy internal technology with a rock star face and persona. This is the Milgauss GV. And we're back with the Rolex Milgauss scrambled serial number and thus the more modern Rolex Chromolite Blue Lume. The Milgauss made from 1956 to 1988, a sabbatical that lasted until 2007, took effect in the mid-80s. Reborn as the charming watch you see here, you can see a subtle distinction between the orange-colored indices of the dial and the standard Chromolite. See it by day on the watch box.